Hello children, good afternoon to you all. In this video, we are going to learn the poem 5th from your book, The First Flight. The name of the poem is The Ball Poem and the poet is John, you can see the poet John Berryman. See, a brief description of John Berryman is given that you can also read it, that he was an American poet and a great scholar, and his famous best known work is The Dream Songs. Now we are moving on to the introduction of the poem. So let's see the introduction of this poem. See children, the ball poem looks like a simple story of a young boy losing his ball. So the poet through his poem, the ball poem, has described the reality of life, the truth of life, which each and every individual has to face one day. Everybody has to face one day. He has touched the topic of how to stand up, how to bear, how to face all the miseries and sorrows of life. So he has touched the topic on what? How to stand up against all the odds, sorrows, difficulties, miseries of our life. So children, as it is given, we have to learn to accept and let go everything in our life. This poem successfully describes how we may feel to lose something that we love and grow up eventually without it. So after detailing the poem, we will come to the conclusion about this poem, what is the theme and message, children. But before beginning this poem, a brief description I have to give about what happens in this poem. See, this poem is about losing something. We lose many things in our life. It has been focused on the importance of loss and responsibility in life. So, we lose many things in our life, whom we love, which we love, and then learning to grow up. So, life doesn't end. If we lose something, what is loss here connected with? The loss is most important thing or relationship. The loss is most important thing or relationship. So if we have a loss or if we lose anything in our life, it doesn't mean that our life comes to an end. It doesn't mean that we have to become sad, unhappy. It teaches us we have to learn to grow up without all these things. It is about a little boy who in his young life for the first time is learning what it is like to experience grief after the loss of a much beloved possession. So obviously children, we need to be strong, isn't it? And get on with our life irrespective of sadness inside. So children, no need to become sad, rather become strong and grow or move ahead in our life. So this is the only way we will survive in this world. Now I am going to start to detail this poem. Let's see, the lines are very simple. In the first line itself you can see what, in the second line also what is repeated, even merrily is also repeated in the third line, fourth line is also it is repeated. So there are not much difficult word meanings here, only that is merrily, which you know, cheerfully, happily, okay, and bouncing also, jumping up and down. When you throw a ball, the ball jumps up and down. Now let's see the detailing of the lines. See, in these lines the poet is talking about a boy. You can see he is talking about a boy who has lost his ball, in the first line. Now in the second line he is saying that he wants to know about him and his reaction. See, what is he to do? Who does he refers to? The boy. The poet is watching. The poet is watching the boy and the poet wants to know about that boy and his reaction, because the boy has lost his ball. So the poet watches the boy's reaction when he has lost his ball. Further, he asks to himself. Then further, the poet is questioning to himself. He is asking to himself that what this boy will do after losing his ball. You can see the lines given. I saw it go. What do you mean by saw it go? Here it means ball. The poet has seen the ball going somewhere. So what is that? So he is questioning also to himself what the boy will do now. So the poet has seen the boy going away from the boy, going away, slipping from the hands of the boy. The poet has seen the boy slipping away, going away from the boy's hand. He says that the ball was cheerfully, merrily, happily bouncing, jumping up and down in the street. This means that when the ball escaped from the boy's hand, it went into the street, bouncing up and down in the street, and then later it fell into the nearby river. So coming into the next line, children, no use to say, oh, there are other balls. See, there are other balls. What does it mean? The line itself tells that, there are so many balls. So the poet says that there is no use, no benefit of assuring, consoling the boy. See, the boy is sad. The boy is in desperate. He is in grief. So there is no use to go and tell the boy, oh boy, calm down. No need to console the boy. No need to assure the boy. You know why there is no benefit to console the boy? By saying that he will get another ball, because he has other balls too, and that is the meaning here given. Oh, there are other balls. So the boy has other balls in his hands. He has already balls. So there is no use to go and tell the boy, because the poet was watching the boy, that what he will do next. But the boy has already so many balls in his hand. He says so because the boy is feeling very sad. The poet is watching. The boy is in desperate. He is very much sad. He is completely surrounded by sorrow. The boy is completely surrounded by sorrow. Ultimate shaking grief. Ultimate means full. Completely he is been grief stricken. He is sad because all the you know, children, why he is sad? Why is in his grief? He is not grief for the ball. Rather, he is grief because all the grief, sadness, he was unhappy, he was sad. Actually, all the memories of the childhood days went down the harbor. See, what is the meaning of grief, children? Sad, sorrow. Okay, rigid means fixed. Rigid means fixed, and trembling, you know, it is shaking. Harbor is a dock, D-O-C-K, or port. Like airport. Airport is a place where aeroplanes park or stand. In the same way, the place where ships stand, the standing place is dock or harbor. So here the poet says that the boy is very sad as the ball which has now gone into the water. The ball has gone into the water, but that ball reminds him of those sweet memories. The boy is not upset with that thing, with that material, with that ball. Rather, the child is very much upset, so sad, because all his childhood memories, all his beautiful memories, all his sweet memories, all his feelings and attachment which he had with the ball has gone into the water. Though he has so many balls in his hand, but he is sad because he has great attachment, sweet memories were connected, linked with that ball, and his memories has been gone into the water. He is not sad that the ball has gone, but his memories, his feelings, his great attachment has gone into the water. So of the times, those sweet memories of the times when he owned it, when he got the ball from his father. This loss is unbearable. Which loss is unbearable, children, for him? And he is grief stricken. You can see the word given, grief stricken here. Grief means what? Sorrow. He is in ultimate sorrow. He is in deep sorrow, in great sorrow. And that loss is bearable, because his sweet memories has been lost with the ball. The poet says that he can't even tell the boy to take some money. See, the poet cannot say that go and take this money and buy another ball. You know why he cannot do that from him in order to buy another ball? Because the new ball will not bring the sense of belonging to the boy. Further, the poet says that the time has come for the boy to learn the responsibility of taking care of his things. You can see here given, he senses his first responsibility. You can see the one word is given, a dime. What do you mean by dime? Dime is equal to, 1 dime is equal to 10 cents of US currency. We say paisa in India. Paisa is the least amount, and then rupee. Same way, cent is the least amount of US. So 1 dime is equal to 10 cents. So he can buy another ball with a cent, but it is worthless. What is worthless, children? Buying another ball with the currency, with that dime, would be worthless, because that new ball will not give him the lost feelings, the lost sweet memories that he had with the previous ball which he has lost. He can buy another ball, but it is useless for him, it is worthless for him, it is valueless for him, because with that new ball he cannot have those feelings, and those sweet memories will not come back to him. Like if your father has gifted you a beautiful pen, so you keep it safely because it is a souvenir. Why you keep it safely, children? Because it's a memento for you. It always reminds you that your father has gifted it. But if someone breaks, what you will tell? That pen is not important, but the attachment with that pen is most important. So in that way, he senses first responsibility. Okay, so in this line, now he senses first responsibility, helps us to know that the boy has not lost anything before. He has lost it for the first time. Next, you can see, children, in a world of possession. What do you mean by in a world of possession, children? See, in the world of possession, here one can get another ball with a very less amount of money, but money is external. You can see the poet says that the money is external. Here in a world of possession, that is all those things, the things which gives us luxury and comfort. We buy house, we buy a beautiful house, car, so many materials, so many things in our house. Why we buy all those things, all those materials? Why we possess, why we own, why we keep? All those things belongs to us because we buy it. Why we buy all that? So that all those things can give us a happiness. It can give us happiness, it can give a comfortable life, it can give a luxurious life for us. So in a world of possession means this world is of possession, where all the belongings, all the things which give us especially luxury and comfortable in life. So actually the poet says that the boy has to learn that in this materialistic world, the materialistic world which gives us luxury and comfortable life, many of his belongings will be lost. So this is not his first loss. There will be so many losses in future ahead also. He personifies the ball as his belongings, be it the worldly things or the relationship he is in possession of. So the poet says that he has to learn to live without them, no matter what it may be. He says no one can buy back such a thing for him. The poet has also said so, because according to the poet, money can't buy you everything. With the money, the child can buy a new ball, but that new ball will not bring back the sweet memories, the great attachment which he had in his childhood, because when he will grow up, he will become an adult. That childhood memories will be lost. His memories have gone, all his attachments has gone. So that childhood memories has already been lost when he grow up adult. So children, so we also come to know that one cannot buy another ball with a very less amount of money, but money is external and immortal here, as it cannot buy back the love and hence cannot replace the things that we love. So loss may be of anything, may be of important thing, like the boy has lost the material, the thing. We also lose our loved ones when someone dies in our life, the relationship, how much deep distress we feel. We feel great sorrow. We are in grief. So, next it is given epistemology. You can see what is epistemology. The poet has also repeated balls, balls, balls. Poetic devices are there in this. Why he has repeated balls, balls, balls? You know, children, because he wants to focus that either people will take his ball or balls will be lost always. Either people will take his ball. You can see it is given, or balls will be lost. So there are maybe losses in our life. We have to make up our mind. Next it is given epistemology. Epistemology is the word which is linked with understanding. Okay, here epistemology, it is actually a Greek word for episteme, that is knowledge, understanding. So actually for the little boy in this poem, it was his first experience of loss, and he had yet not learned how to stand up, how to bear and move on, go ahead. Thus the epistemology of loss is to understand the loss. What is epistemology of loss here? Is to understand the loss and try to move on as life goes on, no matter if we lose something. We should not dwell, we should not live on the past and learn to stand back again. So that is epistemology. So this means that the boy is also trying to learn the real truth of life, the reality of life, which states that you have to accept the miseries of life and stand up again. This is the truth which everyone, every man has to learn in his or her life. The harsh truth. This truth is harsh. Which truth? Loss of important thing or relationship is very harsh. It is a harsh truth of standing up, bearing against the odds, against the miseries, sorrows of life that everyone has to bear. So children, actually here the ball does not cost much. It is not even difficult to buy a new ball. But the poet wants the child to understand that losing things is a common thing of life. So, and this he has to face right from childhood to till his death. So what is the theme of the poem, children? The theme of the poem is life is precious and should not be wasted. Life has to be lived, and life can be lived purposefully with some purpose. Why we live in our life? Why we struggle? Why we stand up against all the difficulties? With some purpose. You face the difficulties, you face the challenges with some purpose and fruitfully, for some fruit also. But when can you have a purpose, or when will you get the fruit? Only when we stand up, when we bear, face, and come out of depression. So instead of becoming desperate, as the child's eyes were also desperate, he was also in grief because his memories had been lost in the water. The young boy lost his ball but accepted the real truth of life. So this is the theme of the poem. Now coming to the message of the poem is that we get things in our life which become a part of our lives. We feel that they will always remain with us. Thus, we form an attachment with them. We form attachment with our relatives, with having our relationship with people. We show attachment, or we form an attachment with materials, with things. However, a day comes when the thing is no more with us. Either today, tomorrow, or a day will come when these things will no more with us. At such a situation, what happens, children? We feel depressed and hopeless. So according to the poet, losing our possessions, losing our things, or whatever the things we possess, owns, is a harsh reality of our life on the earth. We cannot get away from it. Hence we have to face such a situation and then try to move on. So we have to face such a harsh truth in our life. But we must not stop. We must not become depressed and hopeless. Rather, we must learn to face such a situation and then try to move on. The second one is also given about money. So money is external, children. Okay, money is external and immortal here, because as money cannot buy back the love, and hence cannot replace the things that we love. So two messages are given mainly here. So now coming to the poetic devices, see children, only some 3-4 the main literary devices used are some 4 or 5 here. Okay, see rhyme scheme, there is no rhyme scheme in this poem. We can move on to alliteration. Okay, see the examples in the poem of alliteration. Use of sound B at the start of 2 consecutive words. You can see buys a ball. It is given in this line. Okay, the start of 2 ball. Buys a ball back. So he can get the balls here. Example in the next line. Here it is given buys a ball back. The sound B and B and B. That is alliteration. And it is also given man must, M and M sound. Coming to the next second example. Second it is given anaphora. See, I am not detailing or explaining what is alliteration. These all I have done in your previous poem. So anaphora here, use of repeated words in 2 or more lines. You can see in the beginning I told what in first line, then in the second line 2 times what. So repeated words either in 2 or more lines. So anaphora, merrily is also repeated in 2 lines. So these 2 are examples of anaphora. Next, number 3 is, what is number 3? Coming to imagery. Imagery, the picture which we form in our mind. So what picture comes in our mind, children? When poet says merrily bouncing down the street, just imagine how the ball merrily, happily bouncing, jumping up and down the street. How the ball might be jumping up and down. This image comes in our mind. That is imagery. Next is repetition. You can see what is repeated, okay, and balls is also repeated 2 times. Here what is repeated, and next balls repeated in the same line. You know children, why what is repeated? See, what is repeated to lay emphasis that what the child will do now, what the child will do now after losing the ball. That's why what is repeated, what the child will do. And next it is balls repeated 2 times to lay emphasis that either people will take his ball or balls will be lost always. So such things are obvious to be lost, okay, so we must face it. Now next is assonance. Assonance, that is the repeated use of vowel. You can see in the line boy, now, who, lost. It is given boy, now, who, lost. The sound coming o, boy, now, who, and lost. In the same way, next line it is given, he is learning well behind his desperate eyes. You can see the sound of E. He is learning well behind his desperate eye, the sound of B. So that's all children, the poem is over. So bye to you all and thank you all children.